Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Peter Blake of the Sports Web from my Peter's perspective on Amped Up Sports. And the Tampa Bay Lightning fell in heartbreaking fashion to the Colorado Avs in Game 4, 3-2. And it's not the fact that this team lost, it's the way they lost in controversial fashion. In fact, it looked like the refs clearly missed a too many men on the ice penalty. But all you hear today from fans is that the Lightning didn't deserve to win, that the Avs outplayed them, or that the Lightning in the past have benefited from this penalty. That's not the point. The point is to get the call right. Clearly, this was a penalty that should have been called and it got missed. On top of that, if this has happened in the past, whether it was for the Lightning or another team, maybe that's the problem that the NHL and the league should address in the offseason. If the refs aren't competent enough to get the call right, then what are we talking about? At the end of the day, the Lightning are down 3-1 in this series and on the short end of the stick. For another edition of Peter's Perspective live on Amped Up Sports, I'm your host, Peter Blake. NHL and refs, you had one job to do, and that's get the call right, and you unequivocally failed. Shame on you.
Merry Christmas. Say, I love football. Say this. Say Tampa. Bay. Bay. Tampa. Tampa. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Say Tampa.
Tampa.
Bay. Bay. Oh my God, she's so smart and she's so precious. I love her to death.
Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Where's Uncle Peter? I call him.
What's going on? Welcome back to the Deck Bar and Grill on the Sports Web, the evolution on Sports Talk Television. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with longtime colleague, Mr. J.C. Allen of the Pewter Report, joining me tonight as we get you ready for Game 6 between the Tampa Bay Lightning and Colorado Avalanche. Welcome back to the evolution, my friend. But before we get to that, three things. How do we start this show? Bring the passion, bring the excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Very good, Grasshopper. Go ahead and welcome to the evolution. Long time no see, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, me and the family were down here at Vinoy Park, chilling out, dolphin watching. Saw some dolphins and some babies, and I stumbled upon Facebook. And who do I see is at the Deck Bar and Grill live tonight? But Peter Blake. So I'm like, let's make an appearance. Let's see the guy, and let's show the fans some love.
I love it. Let me go to fire the cannons for that. And like I said, we would have been on a little bit earlier, but Florida had a rainstorm, and I think that may be an omen, if you will, because it was lightning, it was thundering, and of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning left for dead, if you will. They pull out a big-time Game 5 win, 3-2. Your thoughts? You watched this series in that game. the other night.
Yeah, it's typical Tampa Bay Lightning fashion to battle back once they're counted out. They're facing an uphill battle coming back 3-1. But
Yep.
if any team can prove that they can do it with the experience, with the know-how, with the wherewithal, it's this Tampa Bay Lightning team. You guys know from watching the show in the past that I'm not necessarily a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, but tonight I bleed blue, and I'm the Thunder tonight because I want to see you guys bring home another championship.
And you got to hear
Tampa
this
Bay.
right here. It makes you deaf, right? Wakes you up. I tell you what, let's go out to our guy here, the legend himself, former Coach Scott and out media member of Amped Up Sports, Night Sports Productions. Here we go. All right, the legend, Mr. Showtime himself, because what I hear, I know, right? Exactly. You're falling asleep. What I hear today, superstar, is that you were on with Mike Florio and X Radio. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Peter. I'm out here in Seattle enjoying the 85-degree temperature. Gets down to 55, 56 at night, and we're running a little bit of a football camp. So with Marcus Trufant, here's some names out of the past: Seneca Wallace and Jason Seawright. So we started the lineman and the quarterback camp today, and then Marcus will be in on Tuesday, and we'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with our 4-day.
Good stuff there. And, of course, we're getting everybody ready here live from the Deck Bar and Grill. Game 6 between your Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche. Let's go back to Game 5. What did you see there, legend, out of this Tampa Bay Lightning team that, by all accounts, not only national pundits, but some fans around town thinking they're dead. Not so fast, my friend, as the great Lee Corso would say, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, I think they poked the cat a little too many times, and 88 came back and bit him twice now. So, Game 3, Game 5, and I'll tell you what, Colorado wants no parts of a Game 7 because we know what Vasilevsky does in closeout games.
Yeah, Vasi's looked like Tim Thomas standing on his head. Some of the saves he's made have been absolutely incredible. And color me impressed by his goaltending so far. Yeah, he's, Game 2 was something that you wish you could take back. But ever since then, he's been almost dominant in the net so far. And continuing to see him play at this high level back at home with the crowd behind him, I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for that, too. And, of course, put Game 2 in the past there, Leo. I mean, talk about the goaltending last night from Vasilevsky.
You know what, guys? First of all, Game 2 is only important if you're playing soccer and you're not having to score. You're not playing soccer. So, you know what?
Right.
Turn the page.
Yes.
And, Peter, you and I talked about this ad nauseum. There's our SAT word.
Very nice. I like it.
Leo word.
We discussed this, that, you know what? You don't embarrass the guy who may be the best goaltender in a long time and expect him to roll over and play dead. Yeah, they won Game 3. They won Game 4 because they had 7 on the ice. And again, Peter, we got to go back to that because the way Game 5 materialized, and you could see when the Avalanche tried to sneak that extra, and I'm going to say this, tried to sneak that extra player on the ice, the Lightning bench erupted. So I got a feeling they may have run back and looked at some tape and said, you know what, these guys are doing this on purpose.
Well, going back to that, and that's sort of my Peter's perspective, and I do apologize for the lateness of it, but, sometimes you can't do everything without internet. Okay, you got to have internet. Thanks a lot, Spectrum, for getting that worked out. But with that being said, Kadri, they tried to do it again. I think Corey Perry definitely may have a future possibly as a rep or a coach at that point. And, to me, Game 4, people said, the Lightning had 7 people on the ice. They had 2 or 3 people getting off. It was totally different from the Colorado Avalanche in Game 4, right, Leo?
Oh, absolutely. And Peter, we've been in enough hockey games. Jason, you've seen enough hockey games to know there's plenty of times there's 7, 8 people on the ice, but it's not during a scoring opportunity. That's the one thing people need to understand. When you get the puck in the back of your own zone, you can make a change, and they're a little bit more lenient with it. But if you're attacking, you better be within a stride of that bench. And again, Colorado wasn't on either one of the occasions. And guys, I'm gonna defend the referee to this sense.
Oh,
You are trying, two people, the linesmen, are
Mhm.
trying to watch not only the line to make sure it's onside, to make sure there's 6 guys. I walked out of the arena game 4, and here was the referee crew outside, and they looked like someone just shot their pet dog. They were despondent. Another SAT word.
Very
tonight.
nice. You're full of it
And
tonight.
you could just see they had that look in their face that we blew this one. And now here's where the NHL needs to get involved. You heard of the Bert Emanuel rule?
Yep.
This is going to be called the too many ducks on the pond by the Avs rule. They're going to allow this to be reviewed next year simply because you cannot have a Stanley Cup final game where the outcome's in the balance. Because if this goes to 2-2, I'll be looking like and smelling like a rose because I said the Lightning in 6. I think this puppy's going 7. And I'll tell you what, if I'm Colorado, I'll be squeezing that stick a little harder if that happens because you don't want it. To be the best, you got to beat the best. And right now, you'd be down 2 to the best.
You're absolutely right, and he did. He stole a line from Ric Flair. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. And, of course, the man right here, Mr. Leo Haggard, the legend himself, former Coach Scout and now media member of Amped Up Sports, Night Sports Productions. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with J.C. Allen of Pewter Report. You know, going back to the longer this series goes, the more it favors the Tampa Bay Lightning because of Vasilevsky and what he means to them. Right, the experience, but also what he means to them in clinching games. And also the Lightning – this postseason are 3-0, so they're looking to go 4-0 tonight at home, and it's certainly possible at this juncture.
Yeah. Again, guys, when you look at how Game 4 unfolded, there was no doubt that at the end of that game, Colorado was the fresher team and the better team. The Lightning looked like they were physically exhausted and mentally drained. And guys, I can't blame them. They played a lot of hockey.
right.
And again, here's how to give you an example. My granddaughter is going to turn 16, 17 months, right in there. She is witnessing her 3rd Stanley Cup before she reaches the age of 2. What does that tell you? A lot of hockey's been played by the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of hockey there. A lot of hockey to go tonight as we get you ready for Game 6. You were saying something before.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, you look at this Avalanche team, too. They're young. They've got speed. And this is this Lightning team. They've got some grizzled guys who have been through it all. You're talking Bubble Cup, last year's Cup where they had to overcome adversity. This is not a team you rule out. Yeah. And while Game 4 was a travesty, you also have to think, too, you know, they had plenty of chances to try to get back into it. And that overtime period was all Avalanche the entire time. So, you know, I think if that does not happen and they still lose the game, I don't know how respondent they are in Game 5. I think that kind of triggered, like, hey, we got kind of screwed right here. Let's get after it, and let's make sure we bring this back to Tampa Bay to at least even this series up. And I think that was probably a point in the series that really got them fired up. And as Leo mentioned, when you saw him step on the ice on Game 5, the bench exploded like, hey,
yes,
not again.
Well, not only that, but I think also the pick-me-up here, Leo, had to be the power play. Nikita Kucherov does the honors. I mean, how important was it for that special teams once again to take advantage of that man advantage? And then in the same breath, the penalty kill the other night, as explosive and skilled as the Avs are with Nichushkin and company there, 0 for 2 for the penalty kill. I mean, great stuff there, right?
Oh, yeah. The special teams made the difference. And, I can't agree with you more on your analogy there. If the Lightning would have lost 4-2, they may have just folded the tent. But the fact that they had a shot, and they've lost twice in overtime, and how they lost, you know what? I'm going to use a quote from Admiral Irishamo Yamamoto after he found out that the declaration of war got delivered an hour later after the attack. He came and said, we have awoken a sleeping giant and filled them with a terrible resolve. I think Colorado did that. They awoke the sleeping giant. They poked the bear. Oh, no, they poked the cat. And you know what? They're paying for it now. And you know what, guys? We all talked about the speed of Colorado. I call it ice capade speeds. They're out there look like figure skaters. They're skating sideways and that. The Lightning are sitting there going, hey, guys, that's great. You keep going in that direction. You're not going east-west. You go north-south. We can handle that.
Well, you definitely can handle that. And, of course, thank God they got back Cirelli. But, of course, Braden Point looks like he's going to miss another game here. Disappointing. But at the end of the day, if he's not 100%, even John Cooper said it, if you're not 100%, you're not playing at that level. That's you don't necessarily
100%.
Right, 100%.
And you know what, guys?
Right.
Where they really miss him is on the power play.
Right.
Sure.
You can that's everybody's talking about the power play is 2 for whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they don't
Tell you what,
have
Leo,
the guy in the middle.
We got a call really quick. Let's go ahead and take a call, and then we'll get you out of here. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with J.C. Allen up here report and Leo Haggerty, the legend. What do you have to say about your Tampa Bay Lightning, or do you want to talk about something else? Okay. Hello? Yes, hello? Hello? Okay. Well, I guess that's it.
Hello.
Hello, right, exactly.
Your warranty is up on your car.
All right, hold on. Let's go out to this guy right here. Let's get him on. Travis Philly of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. What do you have to say about the Tampa Bay Lightning? Welcome to the Evolution. Hello, Travis. Well, something's wrong on my end here. Hold on.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulty. I tell you what, let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll do more of this show. Let me figure this out here on the Evolution.
Hey, Stan Arthur,
care,
I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
All right, welcome back to the Evolution. Let's try this again. I don't know what's going on with the phone line tonight. It's just crazy. We got everything hooked up, and then it doesn't seem like it's going. So can we hear something here? Here we go. Travis Philly.
You got me, baby. You got me.
All right, what's going on? Welcome to the Evolution. We just had Leo on. We had to get him out of here. He was talking with Mike Florio today, Mr. Superstar on XM Sirius Radio. Your thoughts on Game 6 tonight? Yours truly, along with J.C. Allen up here to report.
Well, it's interesting to see what's going to happen with a couple big key injuries for the Colorado tonight.
Right.
We still haven't heard if Burkowski's going to play or Niskanen's going to play tonight. If Burkowski plays, that's just another big positive for Colorado. But, I think obviously the Lightning are going to come out tonight with all guns blazing. And, they're going to have, in my opinion, they got to get at least one in the first and maybe even two just to calm down the speed of Colorado tonight and just play Lightning hockey.
Yeah, right.
If they play Lightning hockey, this team could beat anybody on the planet. That's how good this team is once they play within their system. But if they get out of their system and, do some bad things and get put into the box, then that's a whole nother story. You got to stay out of the box. I got to stay out of the box to win this game tonight.
You really got to stay out of the box and also got to get out to a fast start. And I think that was the difference with Game 5. Jan Ruda, he does the honors there with the slap shot. How surprised were you by that goal? And then, of course, do you agree? Did they have to get out to a fast start in Game 6 at home tonight?
Well, there's no way they won't get out to a quick start tonight, Pete. There's no way. The energy in that building is going to be just unbelievable. Yeah. And, Lightning fans looking for a big win to take this to Game 7. And if this does, let's not get in front and ahead of us, but if this does get to Game 7, boy, there's going to be some puckered butts out in Colorado. That's for darn sure.
Well, I tell you right now, the longer it goes, the more it favors the Lightning and, of course, Vasilevsky, because this Lightning team, it seems like they feed off of him. Talk about him the other night, goaltending-wise, just amazing, some of the saves he had. And I just think at this point, look, the Avs are talented and skilled, but they're getting that puck luck, right?
Well, Well, I wouldn't call it puck luck, Pete. You put yourself in the position to win hockey games,
Okay.
and Colorado is definitely not a slouch when it comes to playing offense. That speed of that team, you can't take anything away from them. But let's really that matchup, Pete, in the goal. They got Kemper's a good goalie, but he does give up some bad goals. And if you looked at what Vazzy gave up, those were a couple deflections, and one went off the skate. So those weren't quality goals, but a goal is a goal in the NHL, and Colorado and the Lightning will take it any which way they can. That's for sure. But what I really want to see coming out today is Anthony Cirelli going to be able to take draws? Because when Hagel's taking draws in comparison to Cirelli, it's a whole different ball game. And to me, face-offs are key in any hockey game. If you control the puck, you can control the game, you can control the speed. Just play Lightning hockey tonight, and I think they could win and take this darn series to 7 games.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So biggest key tonight for you is to play Lightning hockey. Anything else? I mean, Andre Palat, 11 goals in the postseason. Once again, talk about him and just the passing there just to get the goal was just amazing. Once again, Kucherov and Stamkos coming through.
Well, I think this game's going to be one of the other keys to this game. Yes, the top line's going to play well, but we got to get some support from guys like Ross Colton.
Yep.
Hagel. I mean, tonight is a perfect example of an Alex Killorn come out of the woodshed somewhere
Yes.
with this guy. I mean, this guy is so snake bit right now. You need a snake charmer to get him up on the scoring sheet, man. Come on.
Yeah.
This guy has been a key player for this Lightning team throughout this whole run. Win, lose, or draw, Alex Killorn has been the backbone of this team.
Right.
And now we need a big goal from Alex Killorn and maybe another one from the big rig Pat Maroon, or a third or fourth line goal from this team tonight would be key. Key for a Lightning. He's been an unsung player on this team. You don't hear a lot about Nash, but boy, he has come in and fit so well. And Breezewell just shows once again the marvelous position that he's done as the general manager of this Lightning team after Stevie Y left to go up to Detroit, because Nash has been bounced around all year to a couple different teams, and we picked him up for basically a box of chocolates. And he's fit in perfectly on that fourth line. Has he been scoring? No, but they've been controlling the puck and getting dirty in the corners and controlling in the offensive zone, and that's what you need from that fourth line. And our fourth line right now is outplaying the Avalanche's fourth line. And up and down, guys, this is a great matchup and a great Stanley Cup. Let's get it to 7.
Yeah, get it to 7. Absolutely. Really quick, let's go back to game 4 and then we'll get you out of here. I got to get my cousin on. It's a family affair tonight. He's got a new podcast talking about comic books, and also he's a big time Tampa Bay Lightning fan, so we'll get him on. And of course we got to promote him because he's in the family and because this is the evolution. They didn't get it right with the too many men. I mean, I get it. A lot of Lightning fans say that's hockey. The Lightning benefited from that last year against the Islanders. But do you think the NHL, like Leo believes, will do some, looking back at this rule and probably review more scoring plays, especially in that situation?
I think so, Pete. I mean, I think maybe the NHL sometimes takes a look at that stuff and just says, hey, hockey's hockey.
Yep.
The ref's got to call it on the ice. If it happens on the ice, let the refs call it. Obviously, offsides is a whole different ball game, and too many goalie interference, et cetera, so they might let this one slide by. But the Lightning were thoroughly dominated in that game from the second, third, and overtime. So you got to give it up to Avalanche. They put the nail to the grindstone and got the big victory in Tampa. And then what the Lightning do? They flipped it right around and went. You saw those people's faces in Colorado after the Lightning won that game. Dejection, baby. And that's what we're hoping for tonight back in Colorado. Dejected faces watching TV and watching on the big screen at the Pepsi Center. So let's go Lightning, and I'll leave it at that, Pete, because I am fired up right now, and I wish I was at the game. But this damn knee surgery's kept me home. So, all right, one more time, Pete. Go Bolts. Let's take home a victory and let's get this game.
All right, I'll go ahead and fire.
I'm so redundant right now, but that's what I'm feeling.
More of you, less of me. Good stuff there, Travis Philly. Appreciate the call. All right, my friend.
You're the best, my friend. See you soon.
So are you, buddy. There you go. Good stuff there, Travis Philly, a Rocket Sports and Entertainment, my Around the NFL correspondent, and of course, hockey guy here as we got Bolts fans walking around. Yes, you're on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. That is a camera. And let me go out to, it's a family affair here. Mr. Damon Beatty, who has a new comic book podcast here. Tell everybody about that. Welcome to the Evolution, my friend, and also a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Let's start there. Talk about this. How long have you been a Lightning fan, and who's your favorite Lightning player of all time? Welcome to the Evolution.
I have been a Tampa Bay Lightning fan since I moved to Tampa in '99. And I got to say, my favorite player of all time had to have been Hobby Bruin back in the day.
Okay.
Because I sold him his phone.
Oh, you saw him his phone. Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. Good stuff there, my friend. And what do you think about Vasilevsky? I mean, we keep on talking about it. We talked about it with the legend Leo Haggerty and, of course, Travis Faley. The longer this series goes, the more it favors this veteran-laden team with the Lightning and, of course, Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky, in your opinion, he's surpassed the Boulin Wall, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Like I said, Hobby Bruin was just he was a good guy to me. He got me free tickets to the XO Club, and I sold him a phone. So that's why he was my all-time favorite. That's all.
Okay. I know you got to get out of here, JC. We're going to continue with this interview. Once again, go ahead and promote yourself, but really quick, how surprised were you? We'll get back to you in a moment here, Damon. How surprised were you that Gronkowski retired? And do you think there's a possibility, a distinct possibility, that he comes back before the season?
Peter, I'm on record on your show multiple times saying he's not going to retire. He's going to want to go to the Hall with Brady. Brady's playing another year. Apparently that's not the case. But for your second question on that, I think his agent came out and said it best. I mean, Drew Rosenhaus said it. Hey, look, if Brady calls him, he's going to answer the call, whether that's week 1, week 10 after they get back from Germany, whether that's for the playoffs. I think we see Gronk again this year. I just don't think he wants to go through the rigors and grind of training camp. And if you talk to a few players on different podcasts, we're asked the same question: can he play?
Yeah.
Without training camp? And they said, yeah, of course he can. It's going to take him about a week to knock off the rust, and he'll be good to go. But
now there's real talk here, a report. I'll get back to you in a moment here, Damon. Jimmy Graham could be on the Bucs radar, 35 years old. Harry, the great professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Chicago Sports, which hopefully he calls in or chimes in here. We also got Tampa Bay Ray in the building there real quick. We'll get him on after my cousin. Nice. But talk about this. Jimmy Graham, 35 years old. Can that guy contribute like a Gronk? Can he give you something?
Not at all.
Or is the guy past his prime?
He's not going to give you anything like a Gronk. Let me tell you this. Jimmy Graham and some of the options out there, Eric Ebron is another one that's name's been floated around. They're not pass blockers. They're not going to give you any pass blocking, run blocking protection. These guys are strictly pass catchers, and they've both lost a step. Well, lost a step. Eric Ebron's never had the hands really to get it going. But, I'm looking at a guy like Kyle Rudolph, who played with the Giants in Minnesota. If they're going to target one, guy's got pretty good at and pass pro and run blocking. Still has decent hands. But my money, and my favorite out there is Blake Jarwin, 27 years old, supposed to be the next big thing with the Dallas Cowboys. You look at the past couple seasons, he's been banged up, but when he's out there, PFF has him with the highest blocking grade of the available tight ends out there. Limited snaps, but still he's shown that he can be a good blocking tight end if they are going the veteran route, because it doesn't look like there's really any trade options,
right?
Unless you can pry one of those $12.5 million players away from New England, which I don't necessarily know you want to do.
Or Dalton Schultz, who has a signing franchise.
Schultz, you could potentially make a trade for him. Then, I mean, I think you're looking at Blake Jarwin, Kyle Rudolph as the best options, and slim pickings.
All right, it's not slim pickings here with JC Allen, buddy. It's always good to have you here on Evolution. Go ahead and promote yourself. Yes, finally, Mister. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution.
Yeah, you guys, if you've been following me since my days at Bucs Report on the Sports Web, through the Sports Web here, now live with I Love St. Pete, Bet US, and NSBN, I think, right? Yeah,
no.
I don't know where we're at anymore. Peter jumps platforms.
I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports in the
Hub.
Amped
Up Sports in the Hub. But anyways, though, I've been through the whole journey with my man right here. So to be back here with him live at
did that on purpose.
Live at the deck is great. But you guys know you can follow me on Twitter at JC Allen NFL, at pewterreport.com. All of our stories, all of our articles, all of our podcasts. Check it all out. And, you'll find me here on the Sports Web. Well, probably sometime this week talking Lightning.
Sometime this week talking Lightning and Bucs. Thanks a lot for the time. All right.
Always.
Thank you very much. Say hello to the family. As always, Cannon getting big. All your kids are getting big, and it's good to see Taylor again.
Always, man.
All right.
Glad to be here.
All right, buddy. I'll see you around. Don't work too hard. All right, later right there. All right, so I tell you what, let's go out to, again, my cousin Damon Beatty here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter, giving you something to think about here. And let's talk about this podcast that you created. It's not sports, but, I'm a fan of comic books, of course. I'm a fan of Marvel and DC. First and foremost, have you seen the new Marvel movie with Doctor Strange? And what do you think of it so far?
No, I have not seen it yet.
Okay. Why not?
That's a big discussion to have there. That's
why is it a big discussion? I mean, you're not a fan of the movie. You're not a fan of Marvel. I mean, you're being only one.
It's the MCU. It's not. I'm a fan of the comic books, but the MCU has strayed very, very far away from the comic books.
Okay.
To the point where they're recognizable by characters alone now. So that's about it.
Gotcha. All right. And we got Cannon on. Hi. I'm sorry. It was Cannon on. And hi. How you doing? Welcome. Thank you very much for coming out. It's great to see you again, sweetie, here on the Evolution. All right. So talk about your podcast just a little bit here. Go ahead and explain it. What's it called? And go ahead and promote yourself here.
Well, Pete, it's not just a comic book podcast. It's a podcast that has to do with whatever I feel like talking about for the day.
Okay.
There's even some story time in there for my kids. I talked a couple of current affairs in there as well, a couple of episodes. So it's basically whatever I feel like talking about. You have a lot of podcasts out there of people that talk about what they want to talk about, but they're pundits, the professional talking heads, news people, or whatever. I'm an average everyday guy. You know me. I work every day. And the people I'm going to be talking to and interviewing are going to be the same people like me, everyday average people that are working.
And what's it called again? What's it called?
Guess what? You're wrong.
All right, so I tell you right now, it would be wrong not to get this guy coming on in here. Let's go ahead and go out to Tampa Bay. Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. Welcome to the Evolution. Your thoughts on Game 6 tonight for your Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Colorado Avalanche. Welcome, my friend.
Brother, thank you. I tell you what's going on here in St. Pete or all around Tampa Bay area. The roads, I mean, this is Gulf Boulevard, so it's busy anyway because of the tourists are in town. A lot of South Americans, a lot of our tourists are enjoying the beautiful Bay Area weather. But the basic Bay Area weather or the basic Bay Area roads, dead tonight, right? Everyone's home ready for Game 6, and really the Lightning are on borrowed time, or I want to say on house. They're playing with house money right now, having won Game 5 there and the Avalanche out in Colorado, coming home again to the Amalie Arena there with the Game 6 tonight. So you really want to see your Lightning show up, and of course they've won the last 2, going for 3 in a row. So you gotta like your odds if you're a Lightning fan here on a Sunday night here in Tampa Bay.
And to me, I think it's an omen, guys, because it was lightning and thundering. That's why we were kind of a little bit late. It's kind of hard to unload all the equipment in the rain. Let me go back to a biggest key for you, Damon, and then we'll get back to your podcast for this Lightning game tonight, in your opinion.
Well, I'm hoping they're going to go to Game 7. I think when was the last time Avalanche won anything? Was like 2001.
2001, yeah, very good. Very good.
So,
it runs in the family, I see. You know some stuff. That's good.
A little bit.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm afraid that they may be due, but Lightning. I like the Lightning.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and read these comments here because I don't want to neglect the web ads. Let's go out to Tim Hill. The rest also at 7 on the ice, going back to Game 4. But as I told you, Tim, they were going off to the bench. It was not too many men on the ice for the Lightning. Stop doing that. I know you want the Avs to win. And you thought the Lightning would be dead by Game 5. But guess what? They're not dead. In fact, they're just alive. There you go. All right, let's go out to Tim again. The rest missed 7 Lightning players on ice in the same play. I've seen the whole video. It's hilarious, whatever. Christopher Cole. Hey, guys, go Bolts. Let me go ahead. There we go. Let's go out to Jason here. Hey, Peter, LFG, we need to show out tonight. We got this. Absolutely. It's a family affair. Aunt Tammy says nothing. I don't know what that is. I guess that's probably face. Sandra Nagel, my beautiful mother, and, of course, future agent here on the Evolution, watching the best sports talk show, the Sports Web of Amped Up Sports. I love St. Pete. Bet US, the hub. Lightning win, Lightning win, Lightning win. I like it right there. Let's go out to Jesse. Is this JC? This is also Pewter Report podcast at times. He is on the Pewter Report podcast at times. Definitely check that out. Christopher Cole says, why do we need a veteran tight end? Because I don't know, you don't necessarily want to all depend on a rookie at that point. Really,
well, don't forget, Peter. Don't forget, we've got a veteran tight end. We've got a veteran tight end. We brought him in from Harvard. We've got so it's not so much you want to go to a Kate Otten or a O'Keefe and these young guys, and you're not going to be able to compare them to the fact that they're going to have to fill in for a Rob Gronkowski and have to come in here. But the fact of the matter is, if there's any quarterback in the NFL that can break in a couple of rookie tight ends, a couple of 6'5", 250-pound tight ends, I would put my money on Tom Brady to work these guys in, and they got Cam Brake to show them the ropes. So I mean, at the end of the day, I know we're talking about bringing in veteran tight ends like we talked about when we don't sign Dominic Sue or a JPP. Who are we going to bring in? Of course, the Bucs draft a couple of linemen there, and we got a Joe Tryon Shoyinka coming in here in 2022. So I mean, at the end of the day, we can always talk about the veterans we can bring in, but I don't think the Buccaneers are too worried about that because you know what, Jason Light's always working toward the future and building toward the future, and I think the future's in good hands.
Well, I tell you right now, anytime you have Tom Brady, you're definitely in good hands. We've talked about it ad nauseum. Now, Mr. Damon, you're my cousin. I've known you for a long time. You used to tease me about being a Bucs fan and watching this team. Have you kind of turned a new leaf here, my friend, with Tampa Bay? I mean, what are your thoughts about Tampa Bay just a couple of years ago winning a Super Bowl with Tom Brady and coming back?
Pete, I'm still going to tease you about the Bucs, okay? And that's not going to change. I am going to rely solely on the Lightning to keep this Tampa Bay.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to still tease you about the Bucs.
Okay. Well, do you think the Bucs are in the driver's seat this year to be the perennial Super Bowl champion?
They're losing Gronkowski, so I don't know, man.
All right. I'll tell you what, a guy that's had strong opinions about a Rob Gronkowski. Let's go ahead and get him on. Let's get his music on. All right, Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Chicago Sports. Welcome to the Evolution tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm trying to give you the little Leo kind of look back here, with the telephone. Is this better? Hold on. Is this better? How you doing, Ray?
Good stuff.
Good, brother.
I know you've talked about Gronkowski, so we won't go into that. But Jimmy,
look, man,
really quick.
Look, I'm just going to give you my opinion about Rob Gronkowski. Look, man, the guy needed a wheelchair last year to get on the field. The poor guy's been injured. Give me a break, okay? Look, everybody's like, oh, my God, Tampa's in trouble because they have no Rob Gronkowski. Are you nuts? Seriously? They picked up Akeem Hicks. This defense is going to be so good. Look, Tampa fans, get away from the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Don't go to jumping. You're still going to win 13 ball games this year. If you stay healthy, you're going to the Super Bowl. That's right. Even without Rob Gronkowski.
Jimmy Graham. Now, you mentioned it on this show. You mentioned Akeem Hicks. Jimmy Graham,
correct.
Chicago Bear, 35 years old. What do you make of that report, and what kind of impact do you think he brings to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Listen, Jimmy Graham still has a lot in the tank, okay? He's also lost the step.
What kind of impact do you think he brings to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Well, what is that? Is that somebody's feedback there? Oh, geez. You know what? Go ahead.
I said that Jimmy Graham still has a lot to offer as a pass-catching wide receiver. He's not a really good pass blocker or even a run blocker. You can line him up way outside. You can line him up over the top of a defensive end. He's going to give you a lot of different looks. Do they need him? No. But this is something I predicted, that they would probably go out and seek him because he just wasn't going to be a Chicago Bear anymore. I'd love to hear, Tampa Bay Ray's thoughts on this, to be honest with you.
All right, really quick here, Ray, your thoughts on Jimmy Graham. We'll get back to Damon here.
I like Jimmy Graham in his rookie season back in 1963, but I'll tell you what, to be honest with you, again, I'm not saying that you can just go depend on a Cam Brate and these rookie, but that you saw what the Buccaneers addressed in the draft this year with a O'Keefe and with a Kate Otten. You saw them address this tight end position, even if Gronkowski would have came back. And I honestly still believe that there's truth in what Gronkowski's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, says, is that if Gronk, blows this shell come October, November, Gronk can come back. This kid can come back. Him and Gronk have the timing, or him and Brady have the timing down. I'm not going to forecast right now that Gronkowski does come back, but there is a cap because the Bucs do own the rights to him as he retires that he could actually come back in October, November, and still help this team make a run for Super Bowl 57 out there in Arizona.
Cameron Brate is going to be the answer at tight end for this team. The end. Okay. He was their best tight end last year. He's been the most dependable tight end on this team. Gronkowski's always been the sexier player because of the cohesiveness that he has and the timing that he has with Tom Brady.
All right, Damon, really quick, we'll go back out to you here. Give me a prediction for the Lightning, and then once again, promote your podcast. We'll get you back on here. And again, I want to talk about comic books, and I also want to talk about Marvel movies. Really quick, though, before we get out to that, did you like the new Batman movie, and did you like the way they ended Marvel Endgame with Iron Man dying? Go.
No, I did not like the new Batman movie, but yes, I did like the way they killed off Iron Man.
Okay, why did you not like the Batman movie?
Well, I'm not in favor of a big emo Bruce Wayne. Okay,
all right. I get you. All right,
the best thing about that movie was his car.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get everybody on this this roundtable. Best Batman of all time. Damon, you start. Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, or Robert Pattinson? Go.
Michael Keaton, baby, all the way.
Why?
Because he was the first big screen Batman.
All right. Let's go out to you, Harry the Greek. What do you say? Bale, Keaton, or Pattinson?
Well, Peter, I'm going to give it to you like Leo does, okay? I mean, where's my camera? Oh, there he is. Hey, Peter, I like Michael Keaton, and I love you, Leo. You know that. I'm just making a little bit of fun on it. Much love, brother. Thanks for having me on tonight, guys. But I absolutely love Michael Keaton.
All right, let's go out to Tampa Bay, Ray. Best Batman, Keaton, Bale, Pattinson, Clooney's in there, Val Kilmer. I mean, those to me don't count, but through the three there, who do you like?
It's a trap question. I see where Damon's coming from because he's a purist. He goes back to the original comic books. I like the Christian Bale Batman because they threw in an origin story. He went out and climbed the Himalayas. He learned the art of feng shui. He also learned the art of, so I like the Christian Bale Batman. Of course, that also included, some of the greatest, but they've all been pretty solid. I want to say, though, Robert Pattinson in his latest Batman, he didn't disappoint. It just he had a lot to live up to.
Well, a lot to live up to. I didn't think it was that bad, to tell you the truth. All right. Give me a prediction here, Damon, and then once again, go ahead and promote your podcast. Lightning tonight over the Avs, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Give me a score.
A score? Oh,
yes.
I can't do that, Peter. I'm not even going to make myself look that bad.
Come on. You're on the sports web now, buddy. This is the spotlight. You wanted it.
All right. Let's say we'll say, what was the score of the last game?
3-2.
We'll say 5-3.
5-3. I like the prediction because actually that is my prediction tonight. Let's go out to the Greek here. What's Vegas looking like? How do you feel about this game?
Tampa Bay is a favorite. They're minus 150 right now. 4-3.
4-3. All right. That's what the Greek says there. And we're going to game 7. Mr. Tampa Bay Ray, best of the Bay. Your prediction. Go.
No score, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be 3 huge fights, and I'm going to guarantee you over 30 minutes of penalties tonight. The Lightning are going to have to dig down deep and dirty. They're going to have to – Hedman's going to have to come in strong. The Lightning are going to have to stop the speed through the middle of the zone with that Avalanche and the way they have that speed on the offense. I think the Lightning bring it strong tonight. There's going to be at least 25 minutes and penalties tonight for fights, at least 3 huge fights. The Lightning win it 3-1.
3-1. All right, there you go. Once again, David. Yes, go ahead.
Am I on the wrong show to say the Bears? Are they playing the little Ditkas or are they going to be the big Ditkas? Which one is it, Ray? Is it the big Ditkas or the little Ditkas?
I'm not going to talk about your Ditka, Harry.
All right, I got to read this comment here because I like this. Like old times on TSW, absolutely. Alex says, go Bolts. Damon with the E. Wonder where you got that from. And then Fred with the Lightning there. I know you got to get off Greek. So, Damon, go ahead. Once again, promote your podcast. Where can they find it? What's it called again?
Find it on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. It is called Guess What? With a question mark. You're wrong! Exclamation point.
All right, there you go. Damon Beatty right there. Guess What? You're wrong podcast, comic book podcast, or whatever the heck he wants to talk about. Don't be a stranger on the evolution. All right, my friend?
I won't be.
All right.
See you, Damon.
Look at his face right there. Crazy. Let's go out to the Greek. Go ahead and promote yourself.
You can find me right here on the Sports Web Mondays and Wednesdays, along with Peter Blake.
Yes.
On Friday nights, the over-under on 1252 Sports with my co-host, Mr. Peter Blake. And sometimes, hey, we get a Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy sighting. It's just not all the time. But when we do see Ray, we say a three-letter word. You know what the three-letter word is, Ray?
What is that?
Oppa!
Opa!
All right, thanks a lot, Harry. You guys can come back on after the first period, give your analysis here on the Evolution if you want to, all right?
See you guys. I'm going to go eat some dinner. Much love to everybody out there. Thank you so much for having me on. Ray, you look fantastic. Peter, you look stupid sitting in a corner all by yourself. But hey, who's counting, you know?
Yeah, well, hey, listen, I had a co-host. He left, so I got to do what I got to do here. I'm live at the deck, so thanks a lot.
Hey, we love you, brother. You don't really look stupid. You just say hello to little Leo for me, okay?
All right.
Bye.
Get out of here. All right, let's go out to Tampa Bay. Ray, go ahead and promote yourself, my friend.
Brother, let's get ready for this 8 o'clock start. Again, the roads in Tampa Bay are low tonight. All day they've been crazy. We had a nice thunderstorm come through, lots of lightning. So that was a great sign. Of course, when they lost game 4 to the Avalanche, there was lightning in the east. Never got over here tonight. Tampa Bay saw the lightning. You can find me out here on Gulf Boulevard. Don't forget, if you go around the back, it costs you extra. Pete, thanks for having me in here tonight. Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you. We'll see you after the first period if you want to jump on. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, thanks a lot for your time. All right, we're back live at the Deck Bar and Grill. Tampa Bay wins 5-3 over the Colorado Avalanche to extend this series as a classic. Game 7 coming up. Book it. 3 things to end the Sports Web live from the Deck Bar and Grill in Isla del Sol. Bring the passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. 3, 2, 1.
And I am the owner of Santos Massage and Healing Therapies. I have been a licensed mobile massage therapist for 6 years. I'm also certified in therapeutic, deep tissue, prenatal, hot stones, and sports massage. You can check out my website for all of my other services. I travel within the Tampa Bay area and I can go further if needed. I'm also experienced in skincare, full body waxing, manicures, and pedicures. And I look forward.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Bingo. Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Where's Uncle Peter?